Hmm, I smell some delicious marketing tips cooking. Welcome to Delicious Marketing Live, your source for what's cooking in the world of digital marketing, with your hosts Drew Griffin and David Calafiore.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, delicious folks. We are super thrilled and excited to get this show off to a nice start. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. It was all David's fault.
Always my fault.
No, no. Hey guys, listen. Tonight we're super excited. Been waiting for this all day. Super nervous to welcome a rock star amongst rock stars, Brandy Sappington. Welcome to Delicious Marketing Hacks. How are you tonight?
Welcome, Brandy.
What an introduction. I hope I live up to it. I'm awesome. Super excited. Flattered you guys are having me on here for sure.
No, it's us that are privileged to be joined by such prominence and royalty, and we're just super excited to have you. I know that you've taken some time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight, and it's just nothing but a privilege to have you. I know that you've been super busy kicking things off with your new agency, and you're doing lives and you're doing deals and you're doing all kinds of stuff that I don't know what you do, but it's all delicious. So, without further ado, let's welcome Brandy to the program. And Brandy, let's just jump right into it. Give the audience a little bit of the background about who you are and where you're coming from and what you're doing as of today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I assume that probably a lot of you may know me or recognize me from Ben Atkins' group. But for those of you who don't, I actually spent the last almost 3 years working for Ben Atkins, kind of really shadowing and learning everything I could from him. Course creation, blog management, literally Facebook ads, agency building, all the things that he's amazing at. And so I had this great opportunity to kind of just shadow it and learn it all too. And so something that happens when you learn from one of the best is they empower you to go out and do it yourself. So I made that big leap 3 weeks ago, I guess. Just decided, hey, if everybody else can do it, why can't I do it too? And so I have dipped my toes into the entrepreneurial world on my own. And it's been everything I expected and then some. It's been nuts. So I guess like the hardest part initially for me was I come from a really poor background. So, I was a mom on welfare as a single mom for 7 years. And so we struggled so hard. My parents were poor growing up. And so I had like that scarcity mindset. I was always in like fight or flight, everything at the last minute, barely having enough to get by. And so when I got my job working for Ben, it was like all my prayers had been answered. I got this amazing job that allowed me to live like I was my own boss and benefit from working from home and setting my schedule, all this freedom, but I got a steady paycheck. And so when I came to a realization that I wanted something more in my life than to just be an employee, it was really shocking even to me. Like for weeks I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize who I was, because I came to a place in my life where that switch was flipped and I realized that I was made for bigger things, and that I no longer was collecting a paycheck going to be satisfying, that I really wanted to be able to touch lives and share everything that I had learned with other people that were struggling just like I was 3 or 4 years ago. And so to be able to get to a place in your mind where you're going to let go of that steady paycheck that you fought for over a decade to get, and just what some people look at as throwing away. Like there's people that can't get jobs. And I had a good one, a really amazing one. And I was just like, bye. I want to do other things. That's hard. Like I was like, who's this chick? Like, I don't know her. She's just throwing everything out the window. And I gotta say, it's been nuts. Now I am trying to work on building up my recurring revenue. Isn't that the dream, right? But I still, in closing the 3 deals that I have closed this month, I have replaced my salary on the monthly level, right? Not as the yearly level, but just what I would have made this month. I've already bypassed that. Just in the closed deals I've done in the last 3 weeks. So it's promising. And I'm in the middle of a lot of good things, but we can get into that.
That's more than promising. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. Wow.
So let's rewind this for a second. Okay, everybody that's watching this video tonight, right? So there's just a small testimony from Brandy that she's made a decision without a safety net no safety net.
Yeah, like literally, when you are in a grind, when you've been poor for a long time, even if you get an amazing opportunity, it can take years to come out of that place and to get ahead. And I really hadn't even gotten to that point yet where I was ahead. I still have a lot of debt and things that I want to offload and get rid of. And my job, while it paid well, it wasn't going to get me there. And so it was a choice that I had to make. Do I continue to live okay? And enjoy the job that I was doing, but never really get to a place where I was debt-free and some of these other things? Or do I just jump ship completely and then trust that I've timed it well enough that I can make those things happen for myself? And so, yeah, like literally didn't have any money. Last paycheck gone, spent on the bills, and then last $100, it was it to prospect for clients. It's been intense. It's been intense for sure.
First of all, I have to commend you. I mean, that's extremely difficult. It's extremely ballsy to do. I mean, you've got kids, you've got a boyfriend, you've got yourself to take care of, and look, there's some people that are in the group that have made excuses for themselves time and time again, and they whine and they bitch and they complain about, oh, I don't want to go and see a client, or I don't want to, I'm fearful of going in to talk to somebody. This reminds me a lot of the story of, I think there's a parable out there. I'm not sure if it's true or if it's not true, but Cortez and burning the boats. I mean, he literally rode up on a couple of boats, and I don't know if it's the Mexican or the Spanish Armada or whatever it is. They roll up on this beach and they get on there and they're outnumbered. They're like clearly outnumbered by this huge army, and it was sink or it was swim or drown, right? He basically said burn the boats, and the army that he had were outnumbered, outgunned. They were hungry. They were tired. They were outmatched entirely, which basically represents what you're up against, right? You've got this army of denial. You've got this army of pressure against you. The odds are not in your favor, although they really are in your favor. And he says, look, burn the boats. There's no other decision to make. You can't swim out there. There's sharks, there's water, there's no islands around for you to survive on. There's no food. You've got no choice but to fight. And they won. They conquered whatever their fears were, whatever that army was. And here you are, Brandy, going out on your own, down to your last paycheck, debt, bills, etc. Look, everybody else has debts. We all have debts to some degree.
Yeah.
That is your strength. That is your strength, and you went out there and you secured 3 deals in a week's time.
It's incredible. It
is absolutely incredible and motivating. It really, really fires me up, because there's so many people out there just making excuses, and they've got a roof over their homes, or homes and roofs over their heads. They've got food. They've got jobs that are fairly paying well. They have a couple of clients, and they whine and they bitch and they complain about how bad they have it. And you're making the decision. You go out there and you frickin' knock them down with probably very little, other than your knowledge and a few pennies to rub together. And you made some amazing deals. I've had some inside knowledge on some of this stuff, and I'm grateful for it. Wow, amazing.
Drew, I think this kind of ties into what we were talking to Jim Park about last night, in terms of finding your why, And once you figure that out, if you're not living and working towards your true passion and why in life, you just can't live with yourself. And that's probably what happened to you when you decided, Brandy, that I have to make this move. I have to do it. I can't live with myself if I don't go and do this. And it's just like a point of threshold that you reach where you just have to take that next step, or you just can't be happy. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with you. I always thought I had my why dialed in, and I did to an extent. Like, I knew why I was waking up every single day. I have 4 children. I can't not wake up. They're going to crawl on me and force me to wake up. So I knew why I was waking up. I mean, I know I have my why, but what I was missing for so many years was, the biggest piece that I was missing was the belief in myself, that I could be literally anything that I wanted to be. I had separated myself, like put myself in a different category than the other people that were successful. Oh, they can be successful because they have this, or because they're capable of doing this, or because they look a certain way, or because they have money, or whatever the excuse was. And I separated myself from that fold. Like I was some exception, that it wasn't possible for me. Okay. And so over the last few years of watching people be successful, like you guys, and then also watching people struggle that really didn't have what I could see were good reasons why they weren't taking action, or why they weren't getting a result from the action that they were taking. And knowing that I was able to do the things that they were doing, I was just not doing them for myself. I was doing them for somebody else, to grow their business. It was really eye-opening. Just all of a sudden I was like, why not me? Why can I not be the person that has a 10K a month agency or more? Why can I not be an influencer that can help change people's lives and open their, world up to all these possibilities? Like, it doesn't even have to be 10K a month for some people. They just need $300 or $400 a month. And I have the knowledge, and I've been in a teaching role. I have the capacity and, the skill to be able to empower them to not have to be a victim, and to not not be stuck in their messes, if they're willing to go down and put in the work. So yeah, it's absolutely 100% clarity and focus.
I've got a little confession, and your course that you put out a while back, this is probably before the dental marketing class, the whole $10 time bomb deal. That was the motivating factor for me to want to continue and put my course together. So you put something together that I thought was really, really cool. I think it was something along the lines of social media for moms. I forget exactly the title of it, so I apologize.
The Pinterest product method.
Yeah, it was
or clarity.
It was one of those, but you put it together, and I was like, wow, she put this together.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. I remember.
It was awesome, and I was like, all right, I need to figure out how to do this stuff, right? And I know I didn't have all the skill sets. I in some way I knew that there was a system to it. There was whatever. I mean, like the Samcart and the ClickFunnels page, and putting a product together, PDF, the whole bit. I'm like, this is something that I really love, and if you can make money around the clock off of a product like this is what I need to aspire to. I wasn't ready for it. I was absolutely not ready. Had the whole, imposter syndrome thing going on. It was really, really bad. But you did it. You pulled me right out of it. And I think there was clarity that you and I think Tabitha were proctoring on that stuff. And you're like, you guys can do it. You guys can do it. You guys can do it. And then I see your $10 time bomb and this little mini course come out. I'm like, I need this. I want to do this. And then the dental marketing class came out, and I was like, all right, this is awesome. This is what I want to do in my life. And so, yeah, you've had a profound impact on me, not only in the group, but, from your creation, your ability to brand things, and content is just absolutely world class. So,
Yeah.
I think that's a good segue. Let's get into what you're doing with one of your clients, and tell me, is this really what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny that's kind of like your point where you shifted, because that little $10 time bomb that I put together was how I got my job with Ben. Before that, I was just a contractor. And when he saw that, he's like, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you were interested in this. I didn't know you were good at it. I have totally missed something here. Are you interested in actually being an employee, like a salaried employee for the team? And so that shifted me into a totally different place in my life as well, because all it was me trying to implement. When I was first on with Ben, I was just an assistant to Tabitha in the Momentum group. And so I absorbed everything I could get from Ben, from his trainings and everything. And I was like, well, these people are doing it. I can try it. So I put together my little time bomb and made a couple $100 that first, day that it opened or whatever. I was like, whoa, like it took me a couple hours to do this, and like I can generate income from this. And then Ben, I was on his radar, and it was game over. So moving forward now, I've jumped the Ben ship, and on good graces, of course, they've been super supportive. Love those guys. But so my big client right now is a physician. She is a OBGYN. She's an MD.
I got to stop you guys. If you're not paying attention, now is the time to pay attention. This is absolutely delicious. You gotta hear this. This is amazing. I'm sorry, Brandy.
No, you're totally good.
The stage is yours.
Thank you. No, she is an OBGYN, and she has her hands in lots of things, but she also owns a salon and does like some medical services like Botox and weight loss and things like that. And so I drove across state. I took my last $100 to drive 3.5 hours across state to meet with a potential client who did not buy from me. You talk about a sucker punch to the gut. Is you take your last money, you put 40 of it in the gas tank to drive across state, and then they say, let me think about it. The timing's not good. And you're like, I have kids to feed tomorrow. I was kind of really counting on this. And so in my frustration and refusing to walk away from that moment defeated, I was like, I have a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you, Zach Hammer, for the seed money from my agency. He generously just gave me that. He's like, here you go, seed money for your new venture.
That's incredible.
Yeah, as Zach, I owe you a box of donuts and then some for this. So I was like, I don't have the cash to go buy donuts. I'm not leaving this town until somebody pays me something. I don't care what I have to do. Somebody's paying for something today. So I sat in the parking lot for like 20 minutes. And I was like, I've got a 3.5 hour drive home. Who am I taking something to? I've got it. One box of donuts. It was like $9.60 for that box of donuts. Use the whole gift card. And I was like, who's getting it? So I was like, okay, she's the one. She's got potential in different ways. She's the one. So I go into her office and I'm like, hey, ladies, is Carrie in the office? I'd love to stop by and say hi. I was a former patient of hers years ago and just wanted to, drop off a little present. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're all on like keto. We can't have donuts, so we'll hide them at the back. And so she's like, shh, don't tell her you brought donuts. And then she's like, well, she's between patients if you want to say hi to her. And I was like, yeah. So they take me around back and I wait and I wait and wait. And she comes in and she's like, hey girl, what are you up to these days? And then she's like, hold on. I have a project that literally just came into my lap yesterday. Tell me if you can do this. And guys, it's literally a time bomb. It's a time bomb. This woman is on the medical advisory board for a manufacturing company of a brand new medical product. And she has to put together a book to present to the physicians in these live sessions to train on this specific procedure that she does with this tool. And she's like, people usually, they just print stuff off their computer and everything's like mismatched. They hole punch it, throw it in a binder. Like nobody goes to the next level with this type of stuff. It's always really sloppy. There's typos. she's like, could you do something better? Is this something you can do? And I was like, if you only knew. Let me tell you. So I was like, yes, I can make this a cohesive, like we can make this a book. I can make you a presenter's book. I can make you a physician's copy, spiral bound with note, they can take notes in the sides. Everything will be consistent branded all the way through. I can totally do this for you. And I was like, $5,000, $2,000 deposit, and we'll rock this thing out. And so she called me that next day and she said, can I just give you my credit card over the phone? Because I don't want to have to log in and do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, did that just happen?
Yes, that did just happen.
That silver lining is that if he hadn't told me no when I had that meeting, I would have never went to her. But my determination to not walk away in that negative mindset, it made the difference. And so from that, she now has told me, I have enough projects like this to keep you busy for a year if you want them.
It's destiny. That was meant to happen.
Yeah. She's like, I can't imagine that you're not here for a reason. You're in my office today. I just flew in from Arizona yesterday with this in my lap. I can't believe that that's on accident. So if you want this, this is yours. And I was like, it's done. It's over.
That is so magnificent. Wow. So you turned a no, and you were literally down to your last, actually you spent your last $100. You're down to a freaking Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Zach Hammer, you are a genius. I love it. I mean, his generosity and teammanship, your ability to turn a no, and your persistence into something that's amazing. Like this, shame on you, everybody out there, if you think that you can't do it with the resources and the stuff that you don't have. Brandy was down to essentially zero, using a borrowed or a gift card that she turned into a $5,000 plus deal. Amazing. Absolutely
that is amazing. Congratulations, Brandy.
That's so amazing, Brandy. And
thank you.
I can't think of anybody that's more deserving of that than you. I mean, good for you. And I know that you're going to parlay that into so much more. You're probably going to make that physician a heck of a lot of money based on that kind of stuff, based on what you're doing. And that's tremendous. And the quality of your work is clearly world class. And we probably all have experienced it in some capacity. And I know that physician is going to benefit from your efforts. It's so amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. You're so kind. You guys are just too nice.
I think we've paid for a lot of her work actually over the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, and I listen. It's flattering. It's. I mean, you guys know what that's like when you put something out there and people, it changes something for them. It's just the most amazing experience is to know that people took something that I was able to teach them and transform a life, whether that's for their client's business, their client's customers, or their personal life. There's just nothing that could. It's a high of like I could never have a regular job at this point because I couldn't go back into the other way, like the other way. And so so that was my big land for the month. And then, so my agency focus is what a lot of you all are doing with the social content and scheduling, because guys, I mean, come on, it is like the most genius system for launching an agency. There's just so little work on the fulfillment side. Even if it takes you a little while to build up the recurring to get to a number that gets you where you want to go, because it's heavy on the setup and like almost nothing on the fulfillment. Like it's basically kind of like free money after a certain point. It's just brilliant. And so I decided I wanted to dip into salons and spas. I mean, that was kind of why I went to see that doctor, was because I was hoping to sell her on some social posting for her salon, because who she has doing it's not doing a very good job. And
you will do that now.
I will. She's like, yeah, we can talk about that, but this is way more important for me right now. So I had made a prospect list, because I was following the training, and I made a list of like 20 salons that I wanted to hit up in my hometown. And the next day I was scrolling Facebook, and the marketplace like suggests stuff to buy and like jobs and random things. And I saw a job post listing for a salon that hadn't been on the first 5 pages of Google. And I was like, hey, like that sounds like a really interesting name for a salon. I bet they do children's cuts and things like that. And so I started digging in and found out they were a franchise. And I just knew from the moment that I saw that business, I was going to work with them. And so I took 2 boxes of cookies, cookie dropped to 2 different businesses. And that was a week ago. And so I had my follow-up appointment with one of them today, and it went amazing. It really did. I tomorrow have to follow up with their corporate office to get, she's recommending me to him and saying that this is what she wants to move forward with. And they just need him to sign off on it. And she wants to open another location, which she would want me to handle that as well. But she's also going to ask him if I can do this for all the locations as well, because she's just blown away. She's just blown away by how much this is going to take off of her shoulders as a business owner, because she's only had this salon for about 2 years. And so she's just now getting to a point where she's starting to see that kind of financial return and that creep, the little bit of growth. And so she's still in a place where she's working in her business. And this will help relieve and pull some things off of her and kind of give her a boost. She's like, I'd love you to do ads, like all the things. It was almost a 2-hour visit with her. It was amazing. Great woman. And she's just like, you could just help this entire brand. And I was like, I would love to do that. So I actually, that is my goal tomorrow, is to lock in with them as their preferred social content scheduling provider for all the locations. And closing that in is going to be over $7,000 a month recurring.
Wow.
When every location signs on. Setup fees on 73 locations is $36,000-ish. Not too bad. So I'm excited about tomorrow's appointment. Yes. $100 million.
$100 billion. That, oh my gosh, this is really...
That sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
It is. Hey, Brandy, let's take a little bit of a segue. Sophia, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce your name. She had a couple of comments and a question. I think it kind of parlays into this. We'll continue with with your story. But Dave, you want to read it or do you want me to?
Yeah. So Sophia says, like you, I'm now building my agency from the start. And I'm bootstrapping, and I plan to offer the social content service as a foot in the door to get recurring income. I have to build my social media posts for myself. What is the best way to set that up? I'm trying to use Canva to build up my page with posts. So basically, it looks like she doesn't have a budget to work with, so she can't go and just purchase all of Ben's social post content, and she's trying to do this on her own. Do you have any suggestions for her for creating these posts?
Yeah, absolutely. So something I learned, and this is not something I invented, but something I learned from another influencer, is how to create post graphics like kind of rapidly. Mm-hmm. And so now, full disclosure, you can't do this and sell these graphics because of licensing issues, but you can do this and create them and use them for yourself. So for Sophia, this solves her problem. You can't use this technique and then go sell the sets of graphics you create to a client because you'll be violating the terms of use for the content. But so for Sophia specifically, you can actually go into Canva. And so what I recommend and what I do personally, and I can usually create 32 to 40 graphics in about an hour and a half. Wow. Using this method. So for me, it works. And I can probably even I think I may even have a video somewhere of how to do this. So I can share that with you guys, and you can share it with anybody that's interested in that. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So basically I do it in Canva, and I go in and I open just the social media, the square template. You hear my children running and giggling. Sorry. Just
that's your corporate square. Team. By the way,
that is my team.
That is your team there. So we're all parents and we've got kids. You may even see one of them run by here in the pack. Look, I love it. So let them scream away and do whatever they got to do. They're part of the team.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I actually took them with me to do my cookie drops. I mean, you talk about having to take, school hadn't started yet, so they were my rep team. They were with me rocking shirts and stuff. So,
if you think about it, there's no better way to walk into a business than with your kids. What person would ever give you the cold shoulder or not speak to you when you've got your kids with you?
Well, and these are children's salons. Like, I'm their unicorn client. I have 4 kids. And my girls literally had tried to cut their own hair with their new school scissors the day before. So they had like some weird bangs and stuff going on. And so I was like, I need to schedule appointments for my daughters. But, oh, by the way, here's you some cookies. I'm also a marketing blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Rest is history. So anyway, back to the content creation. So you just take, I usually do like a 2000 by 2000 pixel. That way it's pretty good size. And then you take your brand colors and you make sure you have your brand colors saved in Canva. So then you go into the layouts and you pick the 9 grid. Pick a 9 grid and you put that frame on the thing. Then you take your brand colors and you take your elements, like a square element, and you alternate the colors in the cube. Right? So then you have this pretty little grid. Then you take your brand font and you create a text box in each one of them. So from there, it's basically a fill in the blank. So you can go onto Google and you can look up motivational quotes by women, motivational quotes by men, or if you want to do something more niche specific, real estate tips, or just whatever. You go search it, go to Pinterest, go to Google, go to wherever, do a search, and you're going to have thousands and thousands of options in front of you. And it's literally copy and paste over. And then you can add other little graphic elements like, little clip art thingies from Canva, just to add one little thing here or there, maybe add a flower or maybe add whatever your theme is, right? The less is more in my opinion. And then you just clone that card. You can change the text, change out a couple of things. And really from there, it's just copy and paste and it goes really, really fast. And so that may sound like a mess to describe, but when you see somebody do it, it's like, oh, it's really easy. So like I said, I can do 36 to 42 in an hour and a half using that method, and it's free.
That's so awesome.
Wow.
Well, there you go, Sophia.
That's a golden nugget right there. That's pretty cool.
And so the reason I do the grid is because instead of downloading a bunch of individual files, I just download the grid. And then because the resolution is high enough, I can just open the preview and screenshot. And it takes up less memory, less disk space on my computer. And so, I don't have a whole bunch of big files downloaded on my computer. I just screenshot and shift the preview over and screenshot and screen.
So
anyway,
smart. So smart.
That's what I do. There may be a better way. That's just what I do to do it quickly and cheaply. So you can look on my Instagram. I've done that there. I've done that. I've created content for the Venti Vixens Instagram. And I put together a demo package for the salon client that I went to today to follow up with. I actually am going to do a few custom graphics that are branded. I'm not just using the stuff that Ben puts out. I'm actually going to source some custom stuff that's alongside their brand, some really fun stuff for them. So they're super excited. But there are ways to do it when you're on a tight budget. And if you need help with Sophia, I got you.
Awesome. Hopefully that helped you, Sophia. That's definitely a golden nugget. That's delicious.
Thank you.
Sophia also is asking if you can't cookie drop but have to do distance. So what are your suggestions? I'm currently building a prospect list with Facebook searches. So basically, I think she's looking to connect with businesses that are at a distance, or she just can't get out to go do these cookie drops. So what are your best suggestions for her to actually connect with these businesses?
I start, and it may seem silly, but I start with the businesses that I do business with. Mm-hmm. Literally the ones that the waitress knows me because I'm in there every week. or the business that, maybe it's somebody I used to be a coworker with a long time ago, but maybe they open a business, or maybe they're a manager for a business. I start with the people that I have some sort of foot in a door with, some sort of warm introduction. And if there's not a potential there, if that's not the niche, you really don't have anybody in the area that you want to, I recommend probably using Gary's strategy. Honestly, if these are local brick and mortars, and again, I don't know what niche you're going after, Sophia, but for the local brick and mortars, one of the easiest things that they can wrap their mind around spending money on is a Google listing. If there's something wrong with their Google listing, then they will pay money because they understand the power behind that being correct. And so it's being able to update that, claim their listing for them is an amazing foot in the door. And you can do that from a distance. You don't even necessarily have to go in. You can either call them or you can send them a message that's like, hey, I was on your website. I noticed that your address doesn't match what's on your Facebook page. Can I talk to your whoever? And take care of that for you, basically. I mean, there are scripts, there are ways to do this that will perform better. But honestly, if you come from a place of, I really want to be helpful to your business, very rarely are people going to shut you down. If people feel like they're being pitched, then that's where you get a door slammed in your face. But when you come at them from a place of truly wanting to offer them something valuable, not just to sell them something they don't need, then a lot of times I have seen a positive result come from that. So definitely getting on the phone. I did that. I reached out to a few different salons last week. I didn't go into those places. I didn't do a donut drop. I just called them and I was like, hey, I saw your Facebook page and I love that you guys do all the trendy hair colors. Or you guys, are on the cutting edge of this. I give them a compliment and they're like, oh, thanks. We're really proud, blah, blah, blah. I was like, is your owner or your manager actually available? I did have a question about something that I noticed on the page. If they had just a couple of minutes. Oh, well, she's actually not in the office, but I can give you her number or I can give you her email. This is her name. Her and her husband own it. And these people, it just depends on how you approach the situation. And Sophia, you're amazing and sweet and warm and personable anyway. Yeah. I totally think that you can rock the phone call thing and really just come to whatever it is. If you're doing the social posting, there's a segue into that. That's like, you love what they're already doing. And you just want an opportunity to ask the business owner, the manager, a question. And then it's like, hey, did you know that your business listing is incorrect? You're going to rank lower in Google for that. People are going to have a harder time finding you because there's mismatched information across different platforms. And also, I noticed you're not posting on Facebook every single day. Y'all are doing a really great job. You've got amazing content. I love that you're showcasing all these products that you guys are using and these amazing haircuts that you're doing, but you're not posting every single day. And I know that that's a really time consuming thing. And the benefit to actually posting every day, a couple of times a day, is you're going to show up in people's news feeds again and again and again, much higher than if you're not posting. Plus, you're going to rank higher in Google searches. You're going to rank higher in Facebook searches, just, from the Facebook SEO. Even incorporating hashtags. There's so many little things that you can do to give yourself that organic push in your community and become more visible to these people without putting any ad spend behind it. And I know that that's a point for a lot of businesses that's really overwhelming, is trying to decide what to post and then carving out time to actually make that happen. And that's something that I do, is take that off of the shoulders of business owners so that they can focus their time and attention on what they should be. And that's scaling their business, not working in their business. And really, it's not the strategy that Ben teaches because it's less effective than being, subtle. But if you're genuine, I haven't had anybody slam a door in my face yet or hang up the phone and be like, stop calling. I haven't had anybody be rude. It's just, I would recommend getting on the phone because you have the type of personality that I feel like can get those doors open and those appointments scheduled. And then from there, you can do the Facebook message. You can send the business an email or a Facebook message. But I feel like until you get an opportunity to be a human to them, then it's a lot easier for them to ignore it. So I would just definitely recommend the phone. It's going to take a few phone calls probably before somebody locks in. It's a numbers game. But you've become a human to them. You're a real person. And so the more that you can convey your personality and your genuine concern for the welfare of their business, then the better that's going to be.
Yeah, it's just about opening that relationship.
Yeah.
And just getting started somehow, and then using that easy foot in the door service or offering. Another thing I would recommend for Sophia is what Drew and I have been doing with the local media assets. It's another really simple. It's really all stems from Ben's stuff, but we've kind of just taken it a little bit further. But create a local page that features news and events, and build an audience around it. And once you've done that, there's no better foot in the door than being able to either call or walk into a business and say, from so-and-so marketing agency, we also run My Town local news and events. I'm sure you've heard of it. We would love to feature your business. How could any business owner ever say no? So it just gives you that automatic yes. You've done something nice. You've created goodwill. And then your relationship with that business can move on from that point. Just another, yeah.
Here's a little tip, just stacking on top of what Brandy just said and what David just said. Right now, you are watching an interview with a business owner. Do you think you could do the exact same thing? You've got Skype, you got Facebook Live.
Yep.
Why don't you just reach out and say, hey, I've got this show. I've got this podcast. I would love to feature you on your local media asset or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's called Halo Marketing. And you simply reach out to them and say, I'd love to feature you on my show. There's only two answers you're going to get.
You only need one of them.
Or no.
Yeah.
And most of the time they're going to say yes. 99% of the time they're going to say
Right.
yes. And if you build up that relationship, as a matter of fact, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch some of the other videos below this one. I did an interview with a local gym, literally a gym. She runs a kind of a CrossFit hybrid type of deal. Mm-hmm. And she was creating an event in the community for a charity 5K race, and she was opening up her studio or her gym to generate revenue for this 5K. She invited me to participate there as someone that was going in to work out. I reached out and said, hey, thanks so much for the invitation. Listen, I would love to give you some free publicity. Would you mind if I came over and did an interview with you on Facebook Live? Now, I know that you're doing stuff from a distance, but if they've got the connection, you can work it out. Hey, let's connect by way of Skype, and you interview them. You don't have to get all the connections just right. You'll figure it out. But you record the conversation and you upload it to Facebook. Or worst case scenario, if you can drop into that local business, you got one of these things, right? The iPhone.
It's all you need.
It's all you need. Yep. Super ghetto. Just be ghetto. I believe in ghetto. In fact, I should probably rename
Ghetto works.
Ghetto
often works better than well produced and polished. It often will provide you with better results in many cases.
Absolutely. Yep. So they're just stacking on top of what Brandy just said. Get on the phone, be authentic with people. It's going to come through in your video if you're paying attention or not paying attention. But number one, you've given results in advance. They see the results that you're getting. I mean, you can affect that video views by putting a little ad behind it and boost it up for $5, $10, $20. You get yourself a few thousand views. That's going to be pretty impressive. And then they're going to say what this OB said to Brandy. What else you got? What else can you do?
And Drew, as a result of you being gracious and offering that business owner a free promotion of her event, what happened?
Well, yeah, she saw the power behind one of the bots that David put together, and I told her, look, pay attention to this. Not only did she hire me, but she brought in 3 or 4 other businesses into the mix to show them what I was doing, and they're all becoming my clients as well, all from one bot by doing something in advance through video. So, but this isn't about me. Let's get back to Brandy. So, Brandy, you clearly have a mindset. You're into branding and content. You're a wizard. You're you can do it on the cheap. You're very clear. They understand technology. You understand how to leverage other technologies. I'm sure going from a bootstrapping side of things, where do you see your business going in the next 3-6 months? What's your goals?
I mean, I'm one of those that I'm all in almost on an obsessive compulsive level when I decide to do something. Like, I don't know how to do it halfway. So I have set this crazy lofty goal to, hit 10K a month in recurring income by Thanksgiving. Because, Black Friday, I want to be on my computer Black Friday or Cyber Monday, whatever. I'm not dare going into the stores for that mess, but, how nice would it be to, have that extra for my family to do something really super special for them. But yeah, so 10K by Turkey Day is the hashtag that I'm working under right now. And so there's like no pressure at all. Plus there's a Black Level event for Ben's crew in November as well. And so I want to be joining you guys, not because we're friends or because I used to work for him, but because I earned a spot. And so, that's been something that's been really important to me as well, is taking what I have been taught and learning to implement it without a boost from Ben. Because he's generous and he's gracious, and I could probably say, hey, can you help me with this thing? And it's been really important to me to not tap into that, because I want what I'm doing to be reproducible for another person. And so, like, even with my doctor client, while that's an amazing win for me personally and for my business, that's not a part of the journey that I'm really going to focus on when I teach this to other people, because that's not a realistic expectation for them. Because I have a different, a different level of expertise in something very specialized. They can get to that, but they're going to have to start with this other stuff. So it's really important to me to still continue, even if she were paying me 10 grand, not stop there and still build out this other recurring piece so that I can show them what that really looks like from nothing. And so, like you guys, the media asset thing, that was something that I had done in one of the courses last year, was building out that local What's Up Popper Bluff page. And I have to tell you that it's such a brilliant thing. What you guys are doing, using that is just, it's incredible, because it's free. Like, you can make a Facebook page for free. You can I think I put $10 behind mine to boost it for a couple of days and got the page up to like 500 likes or something in a couple of days. It was nothing. It was literally like $8 or something. It was literally nothing. And because I lived in that community and I had friends in that community, once they realized I was sharing stuff off this page, they instantly started liking. So if you're doing it in a community that you live in, it's going to grow so much more anyway. People are automatically going to trust it. And so I actually toyed with the idea of doing a subscription program, like a membership type program for business owners, working around that model where they pay for visibility, for the boost. So what kind of an idea of what I was going to do was, people could they could send their events and stuff to the page to be listed on the page for free. But if they wanted to be on the featured post, the roundup that got boosted, then they could pay like $20 a month to be on the boosted post with the list of other people. But if they wanted to have an exclusive feature, then I would boost their event specifically from the page for like $50 a month or $75, something like that. I didn't really ever lock in a pricing structure for it, but like super low ticket, low committal, but lots of eyeballs on there for them.
What's cool, Brandy, is that once you get the page to a certain size, you don't even have to put ad spend behind it. It's all organic. I mean, that's a super smart idea. And Drew and I were on today talking about monetization ideas for these sites, and that's something we're going to add to the mix. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Subscriptions.
Yes, I mean, and being able to take your bot knowledge and run some bots on the page, and get there. Just they're going to benefit off of that, right? You're going to be able to build these custom audiences and tap into them for all of your clients. And your clients are going to be like, where did you get all these leads from? Oh, well, I have my ways. But that page, it didn't cost you anything to really get it going. And it's just a huge digital asset that you need in your pocket if you're going to be working in the local brick and mortars. And Sophia, join your Chamber of Commerce if you haven't. Yeah. I mean, because there's a lot you can do from a distance, tapping into emails and outreaches and phone calls and stuff with those groups once you're locked in with them. So if you're not already, I'd recommend you do that as well.
Drew and I just joined the Jonesboro, Arkansas Chamber of Commerce.
I reached out to Brandy like, is this a scam? Why is Ben asking me for my credit card information inside of Messenger? This is kind of crazy, kind of kooky, but yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. We're members of the Jonesboro, Arkansas Chamber of Commerce.
You just give them the card and you just ask questions later.
That's right.
That's
exactly.
Just debit it. Just whatever.
Take it up, put it on a file.
For sure. I was like, yeah, he's a little bit of a weirdo for maybe asking before he talked to you on the phone, but it's legit. I just talked to him. It's legit.
So funny. So funny. This is awesome. Now I know that you've got some ulterior motives that are just your moral compass is so amazing. I know that you have I'm going to say this right now. You say that you come from a poor background. You're furthest from the truth. That's furthest from the truth. You come from a rich background, and even though you may not have had a lot of money and have had a lot of things for a number of years, you're a mom first. You've got 4 beautiful children. You've got a husband or a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And you've got a community that absolutely loves you. And I just predict that your business is going to be the stewardship behind your business is the compass in that is comes from such an amazing place. You're going to touch the lives of so many people that whole poor stuff. Brandy, you're one of the richest people that I know. You don't even know it yet. So it's going to be amazing to watch your ascension. The money's going to take care of itself, but what you're going to get back in return from gratitude, from the relationships, from all those people that you're going to help, not just the businesses, but the demographic that you really want to help. You're going to touch the lives of so many people, mothers, their children, their children's children, et cetera, et cetera. What an amazing legacy that you're going to prop up here. So kudos to you. Such an amazing thing, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I mean, I struggled for a long time, and so my heart really is in that place where once I get that stability that I'm striving for us with my agency, I really want to shift my attention to taking that money and investing it back into the community. I really feel mission driven to work with these young moms, with these moms that are on welfare and struggling and haven't made that shift to believe that they're worthy, that they are capable, and they don't have a support system that tells them that they can do anything that they want to do. And I want to be able to first help them make that mind shift, because you can manifest anything you want in your life, but until you know that you can, you're going to hold yourself back. You're going to self-sabotage. You won't even know it, but you're going to keep putting yourself in positions and situations where you're going to repeat your cycles, and you'll never understand why. So once that switch is flipped, your life is over. Like, it's totally different. You're a different person. You can't go back. It's just not possible to go back. And I want to dedicate the majority of my time to helping these women get off of the system and to break those chains so that they can, be self-sufficient and not dependent on welfare and raise children that aren't a product of the system as well. So I really want that to be what I do with my life. And I'm just so blessed to get to work with people like you, and the rest of the people that I've had the, fortune to get to network with and become friends with, because you guys inspire me literally on a daily basis. You have been encouraging from the beginning, but you take everything and you just jump imperfect action, as you are so coined saying. You just jump literally all in, and if it flops, it flops. Move on to the next thing. At least you tried. And there's so much courage behind that I'm the blessed one to be able to be counted in this circle of awesome people doing awesome things. And so, yeah, you guys are awesome. I love what you're doing. I'm flattered that you took some time to dig into my story just a little bit. And I hope that, in a few months, I can look back and say, yes, I stayed on course. It was hard, but I hit this goal. So now what's my next goal? Nothing is greater than to set a goal for yourself and then realize I have to set a new goal. What do you do when you reach your goal, what you thought was the dream, and then all of a sudden you have to make a new dream. You have to set a new goal. So I'm just glad you guys are on the ride with me. That's all.
No, we're the privileged ones. It's going to be so awesome to continue to watch this story evolve, get into the sequel and the sequel to the sequel. And it's going to be just amazing to look back on this and say, look, hey, that first week, those first 2 weeks were tough, but my goodness, look at the foundation that was created. Look at everything that we've accomplished. Look at all the stuff that you've accomplished. It's just amazing to see you go through this. It's going to be quite rewarding to see. I remember when she was working with Ben, and now look at her. She's got this. I need to make an appointment to meet with her and stuff. And, it's awesome. But we're super privileged to have you tonight. I'm sure not only Sophia, but everybody that's going to be watching this are going to learn a little bit more about who Brandy Sappington is, and just the amazing job that you're doing. Use it as motivation to say, hey, if this gal can do this with a $10 gift card from Dunkin' Donuts,
there's no excuses. No.
I mean, there's literally not anything that anybody can say to me at this point that I will let them own. I mean, you can. I shut everything down at this point. I mean, if my kids even, they're super frustrated. They want to make excuses, and I'm just like, no, I'm not hearing it. I can't hear it.
Your kids are screwed. They're absolutely screwed. There's no excuses for them.
They're blessed. That's what they are.
I appreciate that. They want to be little business owners themselves, so they're already trying to learn what I'm doing and trying to replicate that. My one son is he's already created graphics. He's trying to sell them to gamer influencers on Instagram.
Awesome.
So they're trying, and it's adorable and it's humbling and I love it. But nobody can say anything to me. I've had cancer. I've been in a domestically violent relationship for years, almost died. I've been homeless and slept on carports in my past. I mean, I've done a lot of things that people, when they looked at me at that phase in my life, would have said, she's trash. She's just another product of the system. Oh, there goes another welfare mom paying with food stamps. Or, there's a mom on WIC. There's just so many things that I struggled with. And so when people come to me and they're like, I can't hold a job because I don't have transportation or, whatever. I'm just like, I can't hear that. I can't hear that until you're ready to own your part of the responsibility in where your life is. You're going to continue to stay in your mess. So if you're okay with your mess, keep talking like that. When you want to change your life, come back to me.
Love it. That is so amazing. And I support that 100%. They need to be owners of the situation, recognize that they're in the situation, and when they're ready, you've got some answers for them. That's awesome. Well, Brandy, what if somebody wanted to connect with you? Are you willing to do that? Where could people find out more information about you? First of all, what's your business name? I love that name, by the way.
Boss Brand Builder.
Boom. Love it. I love it. So if people wanted to find you, where are they going to go to connect with you?
My site is still under construction, so they can find me on Facebook. That's the easiest way. Or you can email me at brandy@bossbrandbuilder.com.
You got an Instagram going and stuff like that?
I got an Instagram. I got
Awesome.
Facebook. Website's just not done yet. So.
And next question is, when is the $10 time bomb about using Canva to create your social post coming out?
Yeah, that will put that in the works. There is going to be a course that I'm going to put out, maybe a time bomb, but I think it's a little too heavy for that on the, the service I'm providing for this doctor. It's like $10 time bombs on steroids, because there's a lot more elements to doing the medical side of this. Like Drew, with you and your experience in the medical industry, you can vouch for, the things that the FDA requires, and the extra checks and balances that have to be in place for making sure there's no typos in dosages and things like that, because it's literally life or death at that point if you make a mistake. So it's a higher level of responsibility to take on a project like that. And so I'm excited to finalize this project with her and dip into more of them so that I can build out that course for people and say, okay, you want to establish them as an authority, but did you ever think to go to doctors or to universities that are putting out white papers and publishing in medical journals, and they're doing these seminars and stuff, how you can take what you've been doing on such a small scale and blow it up for these people that are in really influential positions. And so there's going to be a course coming out on that. I can tell you that.
Love it.
Yeah. And lots of little things, in the furnace cooking. Last year I connected with Drew about a babysitting business course, because before I worked for Ben, I ran a home daycare. And so a lot of women default to babysitting their friends' kids for money when they realize they can't work outside the home, and they make their lives a lot harder than it has to be. And so there's ways to simplify, guys. And so I've got a little something. I'll probably just do a time bomb for that, because I've got too many bigger fish I'm after right now. Lots of little things. I plan to put out lots of things here in the next little bit, so it should be fun and crazy, but I'll keep you posted.
Watch out,
Awesome.
guys. Brandy's got...
she's coming.
She's coming, and I guarantee you're going to be addicted to the stuff that she's putting out. You're going to be buying stuff every single week, just like we do right now. So I'm super excited for you, Brandy. Anything else that we missed?
No, you guys, it's been my pleasure. I just appreciate you so much. And if there's anything that I can do to be helpful to you guys, or anybody that's on here, feel free to reach out, because I am 100% there to, do a virtual coffee and just jam a little bit, let you pick my brain. Like, I'm all for that, providing value and being helpful to you any way that I can.
Awesome.
Hey, we're super, super grateful. And thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I know, you're up against it with school. You've got the kids stuff.
Yeah.
You've got an agency. I mean, like, what else can we throw at you, right? Guys,
give
listen,
it to me.
if do us a favor. If you have an opportunity, connect with Brandy. Share this video. If anybody out there would be moved by this story, I mean, actually, not if. I'm sure they're going to be moved by this story. Go ahead and share this. Let people know about the group. We want more people to come in and learn and discover from these videos. Connect with Brandy. She's such an amazing resource. Again, comes from world-class background. Just amazing person inside and out. And guys, just connect with her. Share this video, and we'll look forward to connecting with everybody tomorrow and next week. We've got some cool stuff coming up. David, remind me, who do we have coming up next week?
Next week, off the top of my head, I know we have Bob Lell, who's doing some pretty amazing things with Google 3-Pack, which is just Greek to me. I have no idea about any of it, so I'm really interested in talking to Bob. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, join Drew Griffin for Event Lead Blueprint workshop. He's going to help dig into what he's been doing to promote and run events for local clients. He's been making a lot of money doing it. So if you want to learn a bit about what he's been doing, definitely register for that workshop. The link is here somewhere in the group. I'll put it in the post here. Make sure you get registered. 2 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow, Friday, August 24th. So
great. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed tonight's special edition. I've learned and benefited from it once again. Brandy, thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
You too.